This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Al and I are already fighting.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, Sam wants me to watch a show that's been canceled already.
It's called My Brother's Son or The Brother's Son. It's fantastic. You need to watch it, Al. I'm going to make you watch it. All right. Well, welcome to DBL. I'm not sure if you all saw this, but let me tell you, last night the Obamas really delivered at the Democratic National Convention. Michelle kicked it off, recalling hope, while also seriously going after Trump. Watch.
Something wonderfully magical is in the air, isn't it? Yeah. You know, we're feeling it here in this arena, but it's spreading all across this country we love. It's the contagious power of hope. For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of two hard-working, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black. I want to know, who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs?
Wow. Former President Barack had the task of following Michelle. It's something he joked about before firing up the crowd to fight for VP Kamala Harris. Take a look.
I am the only person stupid enough to speak after Michelle Obama. There's the childish nicknames, the crazy conspiracy theories, this weird obsession with crowd sizes. We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse. America's ready for a new chapter. America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
Ooh, goosebumps. Okay, Erica, Al, what stood out? What did you think of the Obama's speeches?
I'm letting Erica go first because her face, you are ready to go.
Yeah, well, when Michelle Obama said hope is making a comeback, I was all on board for so many different reasons. Obviously, in order to have a comeback, you must have a setback, and I do believe this country has had a setback. And, you know, people are talking about, like, the Democrats are so fired up about this, but what about the people who consider themselves independent? They don't really necessarily feel like, you know, this side is speaking to me or that side speaking to me. I thought that the two of them did an excellent job of really former President Obama, making the similarity between his mother-in-law, who was a black woman, and his grandmother, who was a white woman from a small town in Kansas. He was speaking to the unification of not only his family, but he was speaking to how that looks in the world. And the truth is, a lot of us have families that look and feel like that. So we don't necessarily resonate with someone being like, well, these people are always like this. But however, when we say I'm a Democrat or I'm a Republican, a lot of times those things get conflated. And I thought that was an excellent way to bridge the gap. Michelle Obama is just everything. Even the people who were hating couldn't really hate. When she went on the offensive, I didn't feel like it was an attack, because these are things that she hasn't been able to necessarily say, and the way she said it, it wasn't a low bar. It was quite witty, and it was to the point. And I think that people understood exactly where she was coming from.
All right, well said, Erica. So for more on this, we are joined by someone who was there last night. He is the director of programming at the TYT Network and host.
Is it me?
It is not you, Al. Jeez. And host of the Happy Half Hour. Please welcome to the show, Brett Ehrlich.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. I'd say the single most Sam Shocker statement I can think of is telling you, you need to watch a show. It's so amazing, but she cannot remember its name.
Absolutely not. And you notice I wasn't even surprised. I was just like, yeah, it's not the brothers one. Yes.
Okay. All right, let's get to the DNC. Erica.
Okay, so what was it like to be in that convention center while these two spoke?
Well, we weren't actually in the convention center for Michelle Obama's, the beginning of her statement. We were just in the atrium outside, and we were watching a feed, and we were delayed a little bit where we were, and all we could hear is what must have been the deafening cheers of things that were going to be the moments that you ended up playing. We knew they were coming in the atrium, and so when we finally got the feed, we really got to understand what all the enthusiasm and the cheering was about. But then for President Obama's speech, we actually were inside and on the floor, and everybody just felt this sense of catharsis of we really need this. And other people have had this kind of take in the wake of it, which it's just therapy for America. The Republican convention, and we could talk about this more, but it felt a little angrier, and it seemed like it was in reaction to some perceived slight. And the Democratic convention, to see just functioning families together that that look like America, and to see people watch President Obama deliver that speech, and former First Lady Obama deliver her speech, it was just, we needed to hear that as a country. This is what it looks like when you actually walk the walk of how to message correctly in politics in a way that I think people are starved for.
Can I just say this really quick, Sammy, just because it relates to what Brett, what you just said, and that's that my girlfriend and I were obviously watching it last night, and she was watching Obama speak, and she just goes, I missed this. And she's very soft-spoken. She does not get into politics, but just a regular person, the people we talk about, was just like, I miss having somebody that can articulate themselves.
Right. No, it felt like a warm hug, Brett, and that's coming from me. But I do want to address this, and I want to get your opinion because, you know, many Republicans have come out saying that they weren't in favor of the Obama speeches. Democrats, clearly, very pleased, very enthusiastic. How do you think people in the middle will react to hearing the Obama speech, and do you think it's enough momentum to push somebody in the middle to vote for Kamala?
Well, the theory is, in politics and political science, when you go negative, when you're so negative, what you do is you polarize and you shrink the electorate. People just get turned off. They're like, politics is so negative, I got to get out of here. And that's been the strategy of Trump, because he has a base that's fired up for him, and he wants to make the independents go away. For the Biden campaign, what you ended up seeing was just some semblance of, can we get back to normal? And they've really doubled down on that with the messaging coming out of the Harris campaign, which is these guys are angry and they're weird on the other side. And trying to get back to that sense of normalcy and just seeing the utter amount of love and love stories even told on the stage, people are, I think, in the middle, and this actually did swing the election for Biden the last go around. Those people came out and were like, I'm tired, I need to move on. I can't be, as President Obama said, just having this loud leaf blower outside my window all day, as he described President Trump.
That is, my husband sometimes gets blamed for that leaf blower. He loves a leaf blower, Brett.
I said this morning as I took my girl to work, my favorite thing in the world is blowing the leaf blower. You feel powerful. Something's in your way, you just pull the trigger and it's gone. I love it.
Same.
All right. Wow.
I love it. I love the leaf blower.
Okay, that and power washing. I'm done. Brett,
I have one of those too.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing all of your insights. We really appreciate you. For everyone at home, you can catch Brett on Happy Half Hour on the TYT Network and YouTube. Thank you again, Brett.
Thanks.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Coming up on DBL, we are continuing our conversation on the DNC as second gentleman Doug Emhoff shares the personal side of Kamala Harris. And J-Lo files for divorce from Ben Affleck, but why didn't she hire a lawyer? Welcome back to DBL. One of the other big speeches last night was from the second gentleman, Doug Emhoff. He recalled falling in love with Kamala Harris and also spoke about her character. Take a look.
My mother is the only person in the whole world who thinks Kamala is the lucky one for marrying me. She finds joy in pursuing justice. She stands up to bullies just like my parents taught me to. And she likes to see people do well, but hates when they're treated unfairly. She believes this work requires a basic curiosity in just how people are doing. Her empathy is her strength.
What did you think about this, Al?
Doug's speech didn't grab me the way it grabbed other people. I was embroiled in a pretty serious game of Scrabble with my girl. Listen.
You missed a love story.
I watched. But more, his tone wasn't for me, but the message was. And Erica, you know, I think as we talk about independence and hardcore right and hardcore left, you forget that there's a lot of people that are just like your aunts and uncles, just like good folks. Just good folks.
Yeah.
And the rhetoric doesn't grab them from either side, and just like they understand a world in which people just help their neighbors. They come from that generation, and I think he did speak to that. And when they showed his parents, they looked the part. Their son seems to be the recipient of a lot of those morals and values. So I think in that case, it really did resonate.
Well, ultimately, he is the husband of the vice president, Madam Vice President.
Woo!
And I understand a Doug. Because it's not that there aren't a lot of Dougs out there. It's just that we don't amplify Dougs. Because as Al said, they don't grab the attention in the spotlight. But what's the saying? Speak softly and carry a big stick. I think that is super dynamic. I understand a Doug. I'm married to a Doug.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's like the idea that you can have this super powerful woman that I won't say most, a lot of men would be completely emasculated by, but he understands who he is as a partner and who she is as a partner, and together they seem quite happy. And I think that's what was resonating with so many people. We brought up Doug during the morning meeting, and so many women were like, I want to marry Doug. You know, it's like, because it's normal and it seems very attainable. Yeah. So I appreciated him speaking on her behalf, or speaking on the behalf of being her husband.
And again, you know, Brett brought it up earlier, just this idea of love. Right? I mean, it's palpable. You feel it. Last night when I was sitting down, it felt like a warm hug. Hearing him talk about her, to your point, Erica, not only did it feel relatable, and for many people, something that they would want in a relationship if they were single or in an unhappy relationship, but the fact that he was so proud of her.
Yeah.
He didn't have to say one word when he walked out. It was lit on his face. And if you go to Madam President, Vice President Kamala Harris's Instagram, she took a screen grab because she was watching him speak. She took a screen grab of him speaking about her, and she wrote, "Love you, Dougie," with a heart. I mean, that's admirable.
Yeah.
It's relatable.
It's not necessarily relatable, Al, and I think that's the reason why it resonated with so many people. I say this, and people have feelings about it. I will continue to say it. Some of y'all are sleeping next to your biggest op. And that's the reason why the unification or the unity of marriage and partnership does not work when you're competing against each other or utilizing one person in order for the greater good to commence. It doesn't work if it's not a team.
Right.
And I think we saw that with the Obamas, we saw it with Doug, and I think that's the overall prevailing message here.
I will say this in defense of human beings really quickly. We are evolving, Erica, and we are in a room full of men that I think do support their female partners so we are evolving, but you're right, that mentality has been the basis in which we've been trying to move away from. So I do want to give us a little credit. Your husband, Chris Clark, myself. I think a lot of people be like, yeah, go honey, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
So we are getting better. Of course, Jeff, yes.
I know.
His wife on Big Brother, that's what's up.
That's true. The convention also turned into a dance party during the roll call. DJ Cassidy played a musical salute to each state with special guests like Lil Jon for Georgia. It brought a ton of energy to what is usually an old-fashioned and kind of cheesy ceremony, let's be honest. The night also featured a couple of Republicans who have joined ranks with Democrats, including former Trump press secretary Stephanie Grisham. She recalled her experience working for the Trumps. Watch.
I wasn't just a Trump supporter. I was a true believer. I was one of his closest advisors. I saw him when the cameras were off. Behind closed doors, Trump mocks his supporters. He calls them basement dwellers. On January 6th, I asked Melania if we could at least tweet that while peaceful protest is the right of every American, there's no place for lawlessness or violence. She replied with one word, no. I became the first senior staffer to resign that day.
I wonder if her speech will sway anybody. We'll have to wait and see. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. It is officially over again for J-Lo and Ben. Steph joins us to talk all about it. Steph, okay, so we got to get to this. Jen filed for divorce without a lawyer on Tuesday, which was also their second wedding anniversary. She listed the date of separation as April 26th of this year. But get this, the divorce filings make no mention of a prenup. TMZ is reporting that the couple never signed one. So this means whatever earnings they made during their marriage is community property and could be divided up between them. So for Ben, he starred in the movie Air, and it produced also produced The Instigators with Matt Damon. He also just wrapped filming The Accountant 2. J-Lo had her movie, her documentary, her album, and other projects like Atlas and Shotgun Wedding. Then there's the $68 million Beverly Hills mansion that is still on the market. Is this going to get messy, do you think, Steph? Or do you think that there's somehow, apparently, and this is all alleged, this is all speculation, but we're hearing that their business managers are allegedly trying to work it out first. What do you think?
Oh gosh, first of all, I think this is actually really sad because I think everyone at the start at least was rooting for them, you know? It's like that story, the one that got away and then there's chance of re-hope and all that. But I think when we saw Ben rocking a mohawk a few weeks ago, it was game over.
That was a bad time.
Over, wasn't
Did you think that was like his
you know, like when a girl sometimes goes through a bad breakup, they like change their hair really drastic and they dye it another color or do something. I think that was Ben's version of like, this is done.
Yeah.
What do you think about them not having a prenup? Erica, you always talk about the prenup.
Yeah.
So did that surprise you?
Yeah, that is surprising. I mean, marriage ultimately is a business deal. And you have to have, I mean, obviously, there may have been a reason for them not having the prenup. Maybe she believed so much in this love story that that they were willing to literally risk it all. Now, obviously, prenups can look at a lot of different ways. You can do a prenup based on what you come into the marriage with. You can do a prenup based on what you are going to acquire during the terms of the marriage, which they said was 2 years. So if they were kind of on equal footing in terms of how much they were making, it may not make much of a difference. But what we're hearing reportedly is that she's actually kind of pulling some receipts to say, well, I paid for this, you need to reimburse me for that. So this could get ugly, and quite frankly, for no good reason, because why wouldn't you have a prenup?
Because people don't like talking about money,
I know, but,
Erica, unfortunately.
This is J-Lo's 4th divorce. This is Ben's 2nd. So I understand someone naive in their early 20s, they think this is going to last forever, and hopefully it does for said person, but 4th divorce, 2nd divorce. No shade, just saying you should have that.
You should, Sam. And to Erica's point, you know, there should have been a prenup and post-nup and whatever other kind of nup they could have had in there. But it's uncomfortable. Why not talk about how in love you are?
Is debt uncomfortable? Because people always talk about the assets. You never talk about the debt that you're bringing into the marriage.
That's not sexy. And unfortunately, when you're in love, you're like, why would we talk about that when we're in Paris?
Bankruptcy is even less sexy.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. If your bathroom needs a new paint color, you're in luck because HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams has announced their 2025 collection, and the color of the year is
black.
Quietude.
Oh. That was my second guess.
It's a soft green with influences of blue. Its cool undertones and classic elegance can add serenity to your bathroom, Albert.
I don't know about that.
What's wrong with quietude?
I don't know. It's
Rude.
a little grandmother's house. It's a little granny.
Is it giving avocado from the 70s?
Yeah.
No, what it's giving is coastal, and it's beautiful.
I like that.
Because
Which coast? Monterey?
Sure.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I feel
Pretty
that.
Little Lies.
Yeah, so
Big Sur. I like that. I'm going to call it Big Sur. Jacuzzi can help you transform your bathroom. Jacuzzi offers an unmatched, stress-free remodeling process. Call 800-996-0017 or visit jacuzzibathremodel.com.
You stalling for time on that
can't.
segment?
DBL is new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye, guys.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Get real.
No.